Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Thursday. You've got to be kidding me. January 8th, Elvis's birthday. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. Ooh, Cinnamon Hot Hot said, I love the intro with old tunes. It reminds me of Charlie's show. God, I miss him. Who, Charlie Kirk? Did he use that same thing? What Charlie are you talking about? Yeah, I like getting us going with some cool music, if you know what I mean. We are under a tornado warning right now in Oklahoma. So you will be God's witness if during this show, OJ and I get scooped up by a tornado. Hey, in 50 years, it's never happened to me, and I've been in quite a few of them. So here's hoping nothing happens today. Carrie said, hold on, Brooks. Luana said, be safe. Be safe. Oh, I know how to be safe. I got emergency beer in my closet, and I'll just sit right in there with OJ and a flashlight. We'll be fine. Tried and true Okie. Right now, there's one on the ground 45 minutes north of me in Bartlesville. I was speaking to Angel P about this yesterday. I said, well, with the warmer weather and these storms coming through and the cold weather coming out of the Rockies, we might get a twister. We might get one. Never know, but looks like it's happening 45 minutes north of me. I guarantee old Travis Meyer, he's going to have to roll out of bed. He's our tornado man here in Oklahoma. And he gets what I call a tornado pecker. He gets real excited when there's bad weather. He gets real excited. And he will come rolling in, unshaven and everything, and he's going to show everybody all the damage. Woo, woo, one thing after another. Well, let's go ahead and we are going to talk about this today. Right now, in my opinion, changes like the weather in Oklahoma. I have a feeling this is a professional hit. And a professional hit comes down to one thing, and it is money. It is money. Let's tell everyone, good morning. Walking Dead said I can see OJ going, meow. Why the hell did you put me in this thing, Mom? Yeah, for sure. OJ just gets under the bed. I can't fit under there. Nope. My stretch marked ass can't get under there. All right, what's the haps, my friends? What do you think? What do you think the motive for this targeted, what seems to be professional hit? What could the motive be? Because this is cold-blooded murder, if you know what I mean. Okay? The kids were not taken. Thank goodness. This happened between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Could it be a crazy patient that was pissed they weren't given their prescriptions that they wanted? Because I tell you what, people use dentists for drugs like crazy. They really do. They'll come in with a toofer ache and then they think they're going to get 10 days of Percocet. They doctor shop with dentists. They truly do. I thought about that. I thought about maybe the wellness check was way too soon. And so for the partner or the owner, I would say, to call from vacation to say, we need someone to go check because he's never late to work. I get what the dispatcher is saying. Like, well, how late are we talking? Are we talking like he hasn't shown up in a week? Maybe he left his phone behind and he got stuck in traffic. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go over and check. I'm stumped. So let's get to the latest. Por favor.
in the search for a murderer after a young dentist and his wife were found dead in their Ohio home with their young kids and their dog unharmed inside. Police now releasing a video they say shows a person of interest. A husband and wife shot to death just 1 month before their 5th wedding anniversary. Grainy video of a person of interest. Chilling 911 calls from loved ones who sensed some.
Okay, we're going to talk about the person of interest here in a little bit. From what I have been told, this person has been talked to, and this person was actually walking home from a bar. Okay, walking home from a bar. Dave in the D. Most statistically likely, an ex-significant other possibly hired someone to do it or did it themselves. That is one theory a lot of people have. They have something they keep talking about. Dr. McKee. That is Monique's ex-husband. I don't know at this point if I'm really buying that one. None of this shit ever surprises me anymore. Stuns me, but doesn't surprise me. But this man's moved on with his life. They were married for 7 months in 2015, and she's remarried. He's got on with his life. So that is one thing. Other people have theories like somebody was having an affair. And by the way, I'm seeing new names in here. Who is new here besides Walking Dead? Come on. Come out of the bushes and tell us so we can say, hi.
Something was wrong.
There's a body. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, in his blood.
The mystery surrounding the murders of 37-year-old Ohio dentist Dr. Spencer Teppey and his 39-year-old wife, Monique, is only growing by the day.
What kind of person can take 2 parents away from such young children and just two beautiful people away from this earth?
Their devastated families searching for answers.
It just really makes no sense as to how somebody could do this, really.
The mystery began a week ago. Investigators say the couple was shot to death in their home.
What makes this case so chilling is that it's everyone's nightmare. These are everyday people going to bed, brutally murdered, and their children now orphaned.
We noticed nothing different. Everybody was in bright spirits.
Rob Misla is the couple's brother-in-law and had spent Christmas with them just days earlier.
Everything just seemed totally normal like this. We were totally blindsided by what happened.
When Spencer didn't show up to work on December 30th, his boss asked police to do a welfare check.
He is always on time, and this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
They were concerned because they hadn't heard from their employee. Didn't show up for work, and they were just concerned that maybe something was wrong with their employee.
Police knocked on the door, but no answer. About a half hour later, concerned friends showed up and called 911 again.
I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what.
Their 2 young children, a 1-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter, there at the home that had suddenly become a crime scene. Their parents dead. Spencer had been shot multiple times. Monique was found with at least 1 gunshot wound to the chest. The kids and the family dog unharmed.
There's a number of things that jump out at me.
And I might get my ass bit for this, but man, the poor puppy, because the puppy witnessed it all. And of course, the poor babies. Thank you, Tina Kent, for gifting a Crime Lines and Lies membership. And welcome back, Cinnamon Hot, Hot, Hot. Actually, that's one of my favorite candies. Cinnamon Hots. They turn your tongue red. I like them.
One is that the shooting occurs in the home. That typically has some personal aspect to it, that this is a revenge or some type of shooting. Again, I'm going to speculate is against the dentist. Typically, when one person is shot multiple times, that is the motive or the target of
No shit, criminologist. I don't know shit about fuck, but I can tell you right now, obviously, he's the target. because they aired Spencer out. I say they because there might be more than one. So that's the pronoun I'm picking for today. He's definitely the target. First thing that I thought when I read about this, I'm like, oh, well, check, because he was late to work. Somebody could be running late. They're like, never happens, never happens, never happens, never happens. Well, there's no such thing as never. He could honestly have just been late to work. And we're talking barely late to work before the owner, who was on vacation, called 911. I don't get it right now. I don't.
The shooting.
Police say this does not appear to be a murder-suicide. The murder weapon has not yet been recovered, and there were no signs of forced entry.
The fact that there was no forced entry and no murder weapon found suggests that the victims might have known their assailant. That creates a pool of people that law enforcement is going to focus on. Was this a murder where one person was supposed to see the other harmed? Was this a crime of passion towards one and not the other?
I know that's a lot of questions still out there. It's very early for us to try to answer those right now.
The news rattling the community.
The urgent search for answers in the killings of a dentist and his wife in their home in Columbus, Ohio.
Folks in the neighborhood shocked by this news.
My heart just goes out to them. That's terrible to hear that it happened, especially so close. It is a little bit worrying, but all I can think about is those kids.
The search immediately began for an assailant.
Police are looking for any clues that could lead to a possible suspect in this murder case. Surveillance, eyewitness accounts, DNA, any type of forensics that might have been left at the crime scene, pointing to who might have committed this heinous act.
Investigators say the Teppes were murdered sometime between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Police releasing this eerie video captured around that time frame, asking the public for tips about this person of interest walking in the alley near the Teppes residence.
Based on how the person is walking, the clothing they have on, it's a great lead that you can work and see if you can take it backwards to this particular individual to see if he actually was the shooter.
Spencer and Monique had been a beloved part of their community.
Bright, warm, welcoming, constantly smiling, just joyous. They love to laugh. They love to be goofy.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Give me a kiss to bride.
To their family and friends, they were deeply in love, hosting their wedding at that home in 2021.
It was just such a magic moment. It was kind of the uniting of two families. Those two brought people from different sides together, and they were just the glue.
Now those same loved ones rallying around their two children.
I want people to know that they're not just a dentist and his wife who were murdered. They were excellent parents of two young children. I mean, how do you tell a 4-year-old you're never going to see your mom and dad again?
So far, no arrests have been made.
This is the type of crime where you may well get leads from the public if they have any idea, because this is a really heinous crime.
A small memorial starting outside the Teppes' home, their loved ones determined to get answers.
We're going to find justice. The person or people that did this, and making sure that they can't do anything like this to anybody ever again.
And that goes without saying. Okay, V. Oakley said it is a big deal when a doctor is a no-call, no-show. Remember, we're talking minutes late. I think the big question mark is, this is not a no-call, no-show. This is getting the police involved when someone is barely late. But it is true. You're a dentist. You have patients. You have patients to see. You got drilling to do. You've got root canals to do. You've got x-rays to read. You've got all kinds of stuff going on. So it is a big deal. It is a big deal. Within that amount of time, would you call the police just because you can't get a hold of someone? I think that is the question. I think that's the question. That's the question that's been raised by a lot of people. I've worked at doctors' offices. I have. And if someone doesn't show up, they're going to get a tongue lashing, but nobody calls the police. So they must have known something. Well, obviously, way more than me. Okay, now let's talk about the video that came out a couple of days ago about who they said was a person of interest.
Suburban American towns left in shock this morning, working to make sense of a pair of grisly crimes targeting beloved members of their community. In Ohio, a young couple gunned down with their 2 children. Young children just feet away. The shooter still at large this morning. Then in North Carolina, police say they have a suspect in custody accused of brutally murdering a school teacher. News Nation's Mills Hayes joins us live with the latest on these 2 developing investigations.
As he worked at.
We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Their 2 young children, just 4 and 1 years old, and their family dog were found at the scene unharmed. They are now staying with family members who say they're dealing with all the emotions, disbelief, anger, and sadness, of course.
We were just with them for Christmas and just seeing her and how much the kids loved her and how much she loved the kids. It was awesome. We ended up gathering at Spencer's parents' house very quickly. And it's just like, we're all there because, him and his wife were murdered, but we're also all expecting them to walk right through the door.
Police say that they have not recovered a firearm and say that there were no clear signs of a forced entry, Marky.
Just horrific. It makes me sick for those children too, Mills. Okay, keep us posted there. Then the other.
Okay, so what I am gathering, they have talked to the person walking down the street. This person was coming from the bar and walked home. They were walking home. That's it. That's what happened. So as of right now, there is no clues that we know of. Wait wants to know, was it the father that married the couple? I don't know. Wild Child said, was it normal for him to arrive at work very early, though? I'm going to assume so. Like, he didn't just come in, at 7:59 to see a patient at 8. And I think when people started calling and they couldn't get a hold of Monique, that's what sounded the alarms. Some people find it suspicious. I don't know their behaviors.
Central Ohio community is still processing what happened to Spencer and Monique Tepe. The Columbus parents were found shot to death in their home the morning of December 30th.
As investigators search for answers tonight, we are learning more about the couple's lives, devoted parents, a loving partnership, and positive influences in their community. Aaron Simonek spoke with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Central Ohio about Spencer's legacy.
Beyond the tragic headlines, Spencer and Monique Tepe were a devoted couple, committed parents, and positive forces in Central Ohio. Spencer was a role model to many, and to one young man in particular, through his work with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Ohio.
People have siblings and family at home that supports them, but sometimes they need someone else, someone experienced, and they're there for you when you need them.
This is heartbreaking. Spencer was a part of the Big Brother Big Sister organization. And a lot of the children that are there don't have fathers. So this is another theory that has come up, that maybe it is some misguided kid that was mad that they didn't feel like they were getting the attention that they wanted. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of speculation. The evidence will prove it.
Mentorship program connects children facing adversity with mentors to ignite their potential. This testimonial video on Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Ohio's YouTube page shows the special bond between Spencer and his mentee Hans from 2021.
My favorite thing about being a Big has been how I've become part of his family and he's become part of mine.
Hans, a recent Purdue University graduate, now working as an engineer. His mom, Norma, says it was an instant match.
It's like encouraging him that in a positive way, that he knew he could do it.
A mentor turned lifelong friend.
Monique eventually came into Spencer's life. And I know that you even mentioned the two of them went to your son's high school graduation party, and Spencer was excited to introduce her to your family.
Yes.
It really was like you guys were part of the family.
We were part of the family.
Jessica Rodriguez was Spencer and Hans' match support specialist, working hand in hand with them since Hans was in first grade.
I get asked a lot for success.
You have got to be kidding me. You hear stories like this. Who could really have it out for Spencer? He'd been mentoring these children. Him and Monique were at a high school graduation party. This kid has graduated from Purdue now. He said he needed a mentor. He needed a big brother, needed someone to look up to. Hey, look, that's a lot of time out of his schedule to mentor a child. I'm not talking about babysitting someone's kid for a few hours. That's a huge responsibility. And, well, obviously it worked out because the child that he mentored, he was a big for, has graduated from the university. Yeah. So it makes you scratch your head. Who could be that pissed at him? I truly think that Monique was, what do they call it? A casualty of war. Like she was just in the way. Somebody was after Spencer, and it can only be a few things with this type of revenge kill. It's got to be drugs, money, or love. It's got to be those three. I mean, we only have so many 7 deadly sins. We can't invent new ones. People just find new ways to do them.
Stories, and I think that this is a match that is one of the best stories out there because they went from 5 years old, first grade, all the way through high school and college.
When you're going through like hard times or when you're struggling with something, they're also there so they can be a friend and supporter and a mentor all at the same time.
I'm really proud of him, and I'm excited to see what his future holds for him.
It's really a testament to the person he was because a lot of mentors could find an excuse to close the match, you know, getting married, getting a job, having a child, but Spencer was different.
Spencer and Monique's deaths continue to make national headlines, but for the Hernandez family, the impact is profound.
Knowing them, seeing them at their house, how friendly they are, how it's hard to believe that there will be a person that will not like them.
The Tepe Circle tells us they don't want them to be defined by their deaths, instead remembering the kind-hearted people they were, with personalities that are rare to find in this world: warm, giving, strong, and loving.
And what is your message to the person who would have such a violent reaction to this couple?
Did you have a family? It's like, why? Really?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
The Tepe family tells me private funeral arrangements have been set, as a suspect has yet to be determined. On your side in Columbus, Aaron Simonek, Fox 28.
Absolutely heartbreaking. Sarah say, I said it was a mentee who followed his advice and didn't get what they wanted out of it. Woo! 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 Okay. Man, you guys are really, really thinking outside the box. Let me tell you what. Hit that like. Hit that like. Or hit that dislike. Your old buddy Brooks needs all the help she can get in the Al Gore rhythm. Also, there's an option. You can go through our lives and you can hit the hype. That helps me tremendously too. I say it was a mentee who followed his advice and didn't get what they wanted out of it. Whoa, Sarah. Loving that. Loving that. We have a poll up. Please take it. This has got my mind blown. And I'm not the only one, because there's a lot of, I love the experts. I love the experts when they talk. And they're saying that, for one, Spencer is what's called an overkill. Okay? An overkill. I think we can all agree on that one. And that the quickness to call for a well-check visit was also, they consider that a bit suspicious. Now, I have no doubt that law enforcement is working around the clock on this. When I first heard about it, I'm like, with all those cameras in that nice neighborhood and traffic cams and everything, they're going to find this person real quick. So, I mean, I'm on the fence. Was this a professional hit, or is it somebody that they know? How did the Ring camera not capture the person? Because if you look at my thumbnail, it's circled right there. There's their camera. Tina, my girl, Tina Bobina. She said, I honestly feel like he discovered something and worked nefarious, like perhaps drugs or money laundering. Woo! Woo! Boston, hats off. Someone must have been super pissed to do this. Yep. Now let's see what the experts say. And you all know I love hearing from the experts. That the wellness check was an overreaction. I'm going to go ahead and say hindsight is 20/20, and it obviously wasn't an overreaction because, well, they've been murdered. But if you go hindsight 50/50 and you go to the day, some people might say, you're overreacting. We don't need to call the police.
Okay, so a week ago, 39-year-old dentist Spencer Tepe and his 37-year-old wife, Monique, both found shot to death in their home. Spencer shot several times, found lying near his bed. Wife shot once in the chest. Murder-suicide, cops say no. Why? No weapon was found. But they did find 9mm shell casings. So what else do we know? A burglary, maybe, but nothing was taken. They have two kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they were okay. They were both home. So was the dog.
Whoa. Claire Bear. Somebody hid in the trunk of the Tesla and then got in through the garage, maybe. Wow. That is quite a theory. And I'm telling you, it would not surprise me.
Okay? And again, nothing stolen. They don't show up to work. Friends get concerned. No one can reach them. They go to the home and they find them. And here are the 911 calls.
I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
What's the emergency there, police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
We
wellness.
had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell.
We got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body. There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the guy? This is a couple days before Christmas in Florida. And he killed his wife and his stepdaughter. They were getting into a big fight. He was all popped up on the Coca-Cola that goes in your nose. and she yelled for her son, which would be his stepson, to go to the neighbors and call 911. Well, he did. And when 911 got there, mom is dead, the baby's alive, stepdaughter's dead. Okay? Do you know how they picked up what happened besides deductive reasoning? Their Alexa picked up everything. So when Grady Judd said the stepdaughter was begging for her life, saying, please don't, please don't, please don't, people go, how would Grady Judd know that, Rex? Rex, how would Grady Judd know that? Because they got the Alexa that picked it up. So I wonder if they have an Alexa. Let's listen to the call again.
No one can reach them. They go to the home and they find them. And here are the 911 calls.
I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
What's the emergency there? Police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
We
wellness.
had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell.
We got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body. There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they call for a will check, but they're already there and they're like, there's a body inside. Whoa. Two Boston moms. What's up, my girl? She said, yeah, your Alexa hears everything you do. You want to hear a funny story? This is totally off topic. Can we do something off topic? I got my husband an Alexa Echo for Valentine's Day last year. Okay. I was setting it up when I was on the phone with Angel P, who I call Ange. Okay. I'm the only person that's allowed to call her Ange. Ask her yourself. So every morning before I got it set up, it would say, good morning, Ange. Good morning, Ange. Good morning, Ange. Alexa, say good morning, Ange.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
See, now Alexa can't do it. Yeah. To the point, I was thinking like Ange was hiding in the damn closet.
Several reasons. Multiple 911 calls, only an hour or so after they couldn't be reached in the morning. It's such a high degree of urgency, right? We're going to discuss that and what it means or doesn't mean. Cops released footage of a person of interest, they say, walking in an alley near the home. It hasn't led to anything else. But now we just learned something else. Back in...
This guy said he was walking back from the bar in Germanville. That's all I know.
April, in the middle of the night, someone called 911 from the home, a female, and said, she hung up and they called her back and they said, hey, did you just call? And she said, yeah, I had a fight with my man, which I think is weird verbiage, but you may feel differently. And, but it's okay. Does this matter? Let's ask criminologist Casey Jordan. First of all, it's good to see you. Happy New Year. Second, am I a cynic, or I just don't have great friends that I'm a little curious about this sense of urgency?
Now everyone in here is pissed at Alexa. Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Glenpool, it's 64 degrees Fahrenheit with rain. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 78 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. Also, there's a tornado watch in effect until Thursday, January 8th, 12 p.m.
Okay. Alexa said we're under a tornado watch. Did you all hear that? Oh, everyone's Alexa's going off. Let's try this again. This is fun. Alexa, what is your favorite color?
I like ultraviolet. It glows with everything. Good news. As a Prime member, you can upgrade to Alexa Plus for free. It's included in your membership. Experience our smartest, most proactive AI yet. Enable Alexa Plus now.
No, thank you, Alexa. Yeah. Her favorite color is ultraviolet. All right. Took me a good 6 weeks to get her to stop saying, "Good morning, Ange."
It's good to see you. Happy New Year. Second, am I a cynic, or I just don't have great friends that I'm a little curious about this sense of urgency just an hour past when you usually call them in the morning?
Listen, to me, the 1 hour time frame of Spencer is 1 hour late to work. So we're calling 911 for a wellness check. Always popped for me as an overreaction. I mean, I can come up with a dozen scenarios why somebody would be an hour late and not have their phone got lost, their phone is dead, something got in a car accident, had a medical emergency. But they're not satisfied when the police go out there literally 18 minutes later and say, the door, we checked the front door, we checked the back door, and there's nothing. And then everyone gets up from their dental chairs and rushes to the house to investigate this themselves. Now, this doesn't mean that anyone in that practice particularly knows anything or is.
Okay, so this is odd. You have patients in the chair. He's an hour late to work. Okay. And everybody leaves to go check the house, which, by the way, is roughly, with traffic, an hour away. Some people find that a little bit sus, but they know that the owner requested this be done. The owner, the one that made the original 911 call, a lot of people wonder if he has something to do with it. I don't know. I tell you what, if I needed my tooth pulled that day and somebody was going to go find the doctor, I would probably find another dentist. I don't know. But a lot of people are finding it weird. Okay. The long commute to me is not weird. Hell, I used to live in Oologah, Oklahoma. And I mean, I would drive almost an hour to work every day. Not everybody gets to work right across the street or work in their pajamas. Lisa A wants to know why her Alexa is telling Ange good morning. Damn it, Ange. This is 100% Angel P's fault. Motherfucker. Damn it. It's the accent.
And then everyone gets up from their dental chairs and rushes to the house to investigate this themselves. Now, this doesn't mean that anyone in that practice particularly knows anything or is responsible, but it seems to be an overreaction, maybe even a reaction formation, because perhaps they know that there is trouble in paradise in that marriage and they're concerned. So the line that jumps out at me, Chris, is we can't get in touch with the wife.
And that's even more of a concern.
That concerns us the most.
Yeah, I picked that up also, but not in the same context as you, which is why you're you. The 911 call from April. I got to go. We'll pick it up next time. I'm sorry, Casey. I'm out of time.
Okay.
I screwed up my timing. There's more to do. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Chris Cuomo is so good with time management. All right, we're going to have a music break. You know why? Because today, if Elvis was alive, he would be 91 years old. You heard it. So you get your dancing shoes and let's get to it. Happy birthday to the king. My goodness, I guess people either thought I was shutting down the show or they don't like the king. 12 people dropped out. Hey, fine by me. They can come back. Carrie Clark said business partners will get life insurance policies on each other. We talked about that, I think Tuesday is when Monday. I did the first show about Spencer and Monique. We talked about a business practice in Amarillo, and the police could not figure it out to save their lives. Could not figure it out. I watched a whole 48 hours on it, and I was intrigued. I kept thinking, girlfriend, patient. Well, 6 months after the partner's death, who cashed in $1 million life insurance policy? It was a partner. Listen, When these type of things happen, anything is possible, and it is horrible. It is tragic. Dave said, I know it's okay to talk about all potentials, but to get back on track of something with 0.01% chance of being right is not particularly interesting or productive. And I totally understand that. I totally understand that. So I'm going to lay off the owner because I don't know him. And let's face it, he was in Florida. I'm still going with it might be a patient. I can't get off of what happened in Tulsa a few years ago. I don't know if you guys saw that show or not, when that man didn't get his pain pills. Okay. And he went in and killed the doctor, killed a receptionist, killed some nurses, you know? So only the police will know. Only the police will know. That is for sure. All right, so let's talk about the 911 call from last spring.
If you were with us last night, you heard about a disturbing phone call that came to 911 dispatchers in Columbus, Ohio. It came from inside a house that 8 months later would become the scene of a terrifying double murder. The caller was an unidentified woman. She was crying, and she quickly had second thoughts about bringing the police to 1411 North 4th Street. I'm going to play you that tape in just a minute because last night we had the transcript. Tonight we have the voice. And I'm going to tell you what we've learned about the woman on the call. But first, let me get you up to speed on the horrifying crime that happened inside that home. A man named Spencer Tepe, a dentist, bought that house in 2020. And the following year, he married his wife, Monique, known as Mo, to her family and friends. Spencer and Mo went on to have 2 kids, and they were all home together 8 days ago between Christmas and New Year's when somebody came into that house in the middle of the night and shot both parents dead. For reasons unknown, the killer spared the 2 little kids, aged 1 and 4, left them alone in that home with 2 dead bodies. They woke up crying, and they were rescued more than 4 hours later. It has all the hallmarks of a classic whodunit, no signs of forced entry, but also no weapon to be found either, which of course rules out that either parent killed the other. When Dr. Tepe didn't show up for work that morning, his boss and his friends couldn't call 911 fast enough. And unlike that mystery caller from back in April, they damn sure wanted the police to come to the house and act fast. I'm going to play you those recordings.
Ooh, Beige is cussing. Now, before we hear the 911 recording, I want you all to know that the woman on the phone making the 911 call is not Monique. The domestic disturbance was not between Monique and Spencer, okay? So a lot of people have, again, a big question mark. Why is this relevant? Why are the police looking into it? Because they are looking into it. And I think we are free to discuss whatever you want to discuss. Because Rob, the brother-in-law, who I'm friends with on Facebook now, he said, that's not Monique. That was during a party. And somebody called the police on their husband. So we have a very oddball situation is what we have. A very oddball situation. And we have every right in the world to ask. I mean, I wish I could rush to the end and solve it and say, this is what happened. I can't.
Things as well. But let's start with the mysterious 911 call from back on April 15th, the one where a distraught woman dials 911 from that very home at 2:45 a.m., but then hangs up. Of course, following protocol, 911 dispatchers called that number back, and this was the conversation.
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No, I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional. I'm okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can I ask what had you call 911 in the first place? Like, were you having an argument with
Me and my
somebody?
man got into it, but I'm okay. I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
Okay, there's a very long pause. Lisa, exactly. They're looking at all the angles. Okay? They're looking at money. They're looking at patients. They're looking at partners. They're looking at owners. They're looking at former partners. They're talking to neighbors. I don't mean looking at as in suspicious. They're talking to everybody because it's quite the anomaly. There's a 5-cent word for you, that with all the cameras and all the friends they have, and they know a lot of people. They know a lot of people. Who could have done this, and why does it appear to be a professional hit? My man and I got into it, but I'm okay, I promise. Well, you're at a party with a party is more than one person. Well, unless you're in my living room, okay? OJ and I party on our own. Who's the man? My man and I got into it. That's the $1 million question. Hence why this has become an interest. We know sometimes people get demised because of maybe something going on outside the marriage. Not saying Spencer was having an affair, but somebody could have been enamored with him and he wasn't reciprocating the feelings.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel hitting over to your address there at 1411 North 4th Street.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
Pretty distressing.
So you're having a party. This is less than a year ago. Okay? A party. Okay? A party. On April 15th, I guess they're celebrating tax day. I don't know. And this couple gets into it. This woman sounds very young to me. I don't know why. And the fact that the police didn't show up and the dispatch from 911 didn't send it over saying, you need to go check this out, because she called 911, she hung up, she's crying, but she says nothing got physical. Now, they don't know they're having a party. They don't know anything like that. Is it connected? I don't know, but it's obviously somebody that knows the victims, which are Spencer and Monique. Marie, you want to hear a funny 911 story? Before there was DoorDash, whether Marie wants to hear it or not, she's going to get it. Before there was DoorDash, I would order Mazio's. I have the phone number, 918-644-44, whatever. Well, instead of hitting 918, I hit 911. And oops, they called right back. Okay, at the time there was something going on that if I guess might still be a thing, that you can just pretend like you're ordering pizza and the police showed up. I was truly ordering pizza, okay? Police show up and right behind them was Mazio's bringing my pizza. So go ahead and give Brooks the idiot of the day. Seriously, go ahead and give Brooks the idiot of the day for that one. Susan said the brother-in-law called her, just a friend. But it wasn't Monique. It wasn't Monique, but something was going on and there was a party going on. I just don't know why the police didn't check it out. I have no idea. Because you call and say you're okay and they call back doesn't mean you are when she's clearly upset. Who else knew this was going on? Somebody had to have known.
Here's the cancel hitting over to your address there at 1411 North 4th Street.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank you.
sorry.
Pretty distressing stuff, right? Especially the pause, long pause after did it get physical. That unidentified woman never did call back. And while we still don't know who she was, there is at least one person who says he knows who she wasn't. Monique Tepe, Spencer's wife. Spencer Tepe's brother-in-law, who joined me here on the show on Monday, says that he can 100% confirm that that is not Mo's voice. But if it wasn't Mo in the mid...
Thank you, Sophia, for the super sticker. She said, tell the truth, you wanted VIP service for your pizza. Yeah, maybe. Rexy said, brother-in-law said it was a party guest. It's not really relevant to the murders. Well, I guess then we have to assume that the police are telling the brother-in-law everything that they're looking into. I don't know. I mean, I know I messaged him and he said, that's not Monique, but the police are looking into it. That's all he said.
Middle of the night, inside that home, who was it? Now you need to hear the cascade of 911 calls on the morning of December 30th. First, Spencer's boss called police from Florida. That's where he was on vacation. Spencer was running the dental office for him and had such a stellar track record that his boss knew something was wrong right away when Spencer was just a couple minutes late for work. Here's the boss's call.
I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. Well, I'm currently in the state of Florida. I'm on vacation, but this individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
You know, I have a question about that too, Wild Child. Who has a party on a Monday night with the call coming in at 2:45 a.m. April 15th into Tuesday morning? Yeah, with two babies at the house, not judging. The babies could have been with his parents or her parents. I don't know. And so when they say he's never late for work, how are you going to be up partying until 2:45 in the morning and make it to work with steady hands to work on people's mouths? Something here is not adding up unless he purposely, put in to not to go to work on Tuesday. And tax day parties are a thing that people do. Boston, how do they know that that was a party? The brother-in-law said it. He said they were having a party that night. That's what happened, and it's not Monique. That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm not doubting him. I'm just saying that's where this information's come from. He's on every channel telling everybody what's going on. I mean, I'm friends with him on Facebook. He was supposed to be on the show on Tuesday, but he said he was making funeral arrangements.
I'm on vacation, but this individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
two
in
kids in the
Florida.
home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by my employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office. Have you guys received anything else, like calls about him or like a car accident or anything like that?
No, sometimes people just don't show up to work. I mean, maybe he's sick. I don't know.
Thank you.
That's what she said. I don't know. Sometimes people don't just show up to work. I mean, do you really want us to send, people over there? He failed to mention that he's a dentist and he has patients waiting. So again, a lot of people have a question mark about the owner that called from Florida. And why would he call from Florida and get patched in to their 911 system? Let's say he's in Tampa. So he's got to call 911 and get patched into Columbus 911 to say that. Why didn't somebody at the office that was local do it? Think about it. Why would he, as if he's got the only working phone in America, why would he call 911? Why wouldn't he just tell one of the employees, call the police and tell them to do a well check visit? Because this isn't like him. But he calls from Florida. That's another reason people are a bit suspicious of him. I mean, if somebody told me that somebody was missing, say in Montana, then I would be like, well, then I need someone in Montana to call the police. What am I going to do here in Oklahoma? What am I going to do? I mean, think about it. I mean, he's on vacation. Not saying that his vacation is more important than, a double homicide. But why on earth was he the one to make the call? That's bizarre to me. Hey, I've heard crazier. All right. Our boy Bill. Former detective, NYPD, former sergeant. Love you too, boy mama. He's kind of geared toward targeted professional hit as well. Good morning, Daphne. She said, hey, lady, working while listening. I think the dentist is sus. Woo. Everyone got an opinion, and I love it. That's what discussion is about. Even if you don't like someone's opinion, it doesn't mean you get to shut them up. And I'm not going to take firsthand information from someone saying, well, this is what it is. Well, this is what it is, until the police come out. And until then, until we have the probable cause affidavit and we know what the evidence is, we are damn sure allowed to discuss.
Week after a couple was found murdered inside their Wineland Park home. Neighbors say they are feeling on edge. Spencer and Monique Tepe were found dead inside their home on North 4th Street Tuesday. Police say they were called there for a wellness check.
And when officers arrived, they found their two kids safe inside. NBC4's crime and safety reporter Anna Hoffman has been speaking with people who live in that area and is live now with how they are feeling throughout all of this. Anna?
Jen and Jared, the people I talked to say there are so many loose ends. I've seen investigators out here today. Just about every house around me also has some kind of security camera.
And that's bizarre in itself. Every home around there has some kind of security camera. Every one of them. Every one of them. You have one grainy image of a guy that was walking home from the bar. That's all you got? Something's going on here, and I can't quite put my thumb on it, my finger on it. I don't know. But I do want to say thank you so much to Seth the Welsh for the $3 super sticker. Peace and love to you too. Oh, here we go. Here's some more conversation. Mir Camp said this is far stretch, but maybe a jammer was used. Never know. Boston. So he is the brother of Spencer or brother-in-law? Brother-in-law. His wife is Spencer's sister.
People I talk to say there are so many loose ends. I've seen investigators out here today. Just about every house around me also has some kind of security camera. The people here in Wineland Park say if you know anything, the time is now to speak up.
Well, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
A growing memorial of flowers outside Spencer and Monique Tepe's home, almost a week after the couple was found murdered inside.
This was tragic because you just won't think that it would happen. Like it's close, you know. So I stayed 3 houses down.
Police still have not released any suspect information, making neighbors question their safety.
Certainly an unsettling feeling to kind of be without more detail about something that is.
I asked about that too, Wild Child, to a family member. Did they have a nanny, a housekeeper? Did they have someone regularly that came over? And I couldn't get an answer. I couldn't get a straight answer. Matter of fact, I didn't get any answer. I couldn't quite figure out what the answer was, because that's what I thought too. You have a $700,000 home. Your husband's a dentist. You have, normally you have someone that comes by to take care of the home or to babysit the kids while you go out and do your things. And so I wondered about that myself. So that right there would be very interesting to have a solid answer. Now, the garage code was well known to many people. Going back to Claire Bear's theory that somebody got in the back of his car and got into the garage was detached from the house. Okay? There's a garage code, but it's just to park the car. And as far as Ring cameras, they got them everywhere. So I'm beyond confused.
Is definitely very concerning.
They say the area has seen its fair share of violent incidents in the past, but thought it was getting better.
Well, I certainly feel more apprehensive about making moves around nighttime and things like that.
Family members described the couple in a statement as loving life and say they were proud of their 2 children and dog. Neighbors we talked to say they've seen them out and about.
Every time I seen them, they spoke. There was no evil or nothing towards you know. So like I said, these was fine people.
Friday, Columbus police put out an ask for any pictures or videos in the area that might help them solve this case.
Right there is their Ring camera. Right there is theirs. I circled it. They got married at their home. Okay? They got married at their home. I circled it. Well, I didn't circle it. I stole it from the news. Right there. How is nothing picked up? And I don't just mean their house. I don't mean the neighbor's house. But the traffic cams, anything. Why? Are there different treads in the snow? Yes, there was snow. Are there different treads out there? Obviously, somebody got in the house. Angel P says, follow the money. To Boston Mom says, Teslas have cameras too, though. They do. I wouldn't drive one of those ugly pieces of shit Teslas. God, they look like tuna cans on wheels. Fuck. God, I wouldn't drive one of those.
Towards you know. So like I said, these was fine people.
Friday, Columbus police put out an ask for any pictures or videos in the area that might help them solve this case. We saw a security camera on just about every house in the neighborhood.
That's amazing. And we mentioned that before. There's a security camera on almost every house. So where, again, and Mike, what you said, you're right. They probably have all the video, but maybe it's not usable. Maybe what they showed us could be the very best they have. And that's a little distressing because we were hoping that the big question I have, and I've said it numerous times, is how did this person get to this scene here? Did he park a car around the block somewhere? that car. And when we follow this video, and does it just end? Where does he go after he leaves that, that alleyway? And those are the things that we need to do follow-up investigation and more canvassing, more knocking on doors. Can we see your video from your Ring camera? Trace his steps. Go back. One of the things you do on every homicide scene.
Bill, now I'm not going to sit here and argue with police off the cuff, because he obviously has a lot more experience in law enforcement than I do. I will say this: don't always assume it's a man, because he said his steps. It could be a woman. Let's face it. We've seen a lot of crazy bitches. And speaking of crazy bitches, I need you all to be ready for the next show at noon. It's about a little boy that is missing here in Oklahoma, okay? It's noon Oklahoma time. That would be 11 to Boston Mom in Utah time. That's going to be 1 o'clock. Angel P, that Alexa loves time in Tennessee. You do the math. Everybody grab that link and be ready for the next show, because your old buddy Brooks is fired up, because nothing makes me happier than trashing people from my own home state. It may not be a man.
Video from your Ring camera. Trace his steps. Go back. One of the things you do on every homicide scene outside is you take the plate numbers down of all the cars that are in the vicinity of the murder, because could be the perp's car, could be on the scene. So that is like a procedural thing, a checklist thing. Did they do a canvass for vehicles? A strange vehicle, that didn't belong in the area, perhaps. Taking down the license plate numbers. It's no big deal for the police to do DMV checks on all the cars that they pulled the license plate numbers. No big deal at all. Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, in the right place. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, make lots of comments. We love comments. And definitely share us with your friends and family. If you want to join us, we have a Patreon. You can contribute financially.
I just want the hat, Bill. I just want the hat.
Tube family. Mike, something? I've worked cases like this, and as the cases go into 1 week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks, the neighborhood, the community, the police department, the government, the mayor, everyone gets a little crazy. But you can be assured that the Columbus Police Department and the Columbus Homicide Unit is out there 24/7 knocking on doors trying to solve this case, Mike.
Yeah, as the gentleman said, there's nothing. He's disconcerting about. There's no information. This is where I think if there was a.
Let me get to your comments. Lisa A said the overkill is making me suspect a female. Like I said, not to disagree with Bill, and we all know we love us some Bill. Okay. He's a funny dude. He is. He's smart. And he always says, never trust a cop that worked behind a desk. He says it all the time. But police and military do the same thing. They pick on someone that has different ranks. And in my opinion, it's all very important. But he's suspecting a male. Okay. I wouldn't be that quick about it. Betty said Columbus needs FBI help. I don't know if they have called in the feds yet or not. I don't know.
The gentleman said, there's nothing. He's disconcerting about. There's no information. This is where I think if there was a well-trained police spokesperson, maybe the police commissioner, just to have a brief press conference and let people know that, you know, the investigation is moving forward. What's taking time is getting all that technological data back on the cell phones, on the Ring cameras, the geofencing, possible DNA, looking at the results of the autopsy, and just explain to the public a little bit. Because if I was in that neighborhood, I would be very, very concerned like that gentleman was. And so I think that you don't have to give away the store, but just to let the public know that, you know, that they are.
Okay, the guy, look at his O face. Wow, I love catching O faces. The guy in the lumberjack shirt, he's like, you don't have to give away the store, don't have to give away the case. Just let the community know they're safe. I think the community knows they are safe because even for somebody with a uneducated law enforcement mind like mine can tell this is very targeted. Wild Child or whoever else wants, grab the link. That'll save me going through your email and replying. Please come up. I want to hear what you think. Okay, lumberjack man, let's do it.
Results of the autopsy, and just explain to the public a little bit, because if I was in that neighborhood, I would be very, very concerned like that gentleman was. And so I think that you don't have to give away the store, but just to let the public know that, you know, that they are working as hard as they can and they're closing the loop. And you don't have to talk about anything in particular, but just let the people know that they are moving ahead and they're not stymied in their investigation. Just assure the public a little bit. And I think that would be really good at this point to give the public a little peace of mind, because this is where we saw in the Koberger case where you had very little going out there and the conspiracy theories were off the wall. And so I think to help the public, a spokesperson would help.
Very good point, Mike, because there has not been a press conference in regards to this case.
Facts. I knew somebody would catch it. I knew it. Comment of the day, everybody. Comment of the day. The cameras caught one rando walking home from the bar, but nothing else. Seriously. Think about that. They caught one dude walking from Germanville, but no one else. Nothing else. That's another reason I think this is a pro hit. Okay? I mean, I'm going back to like some Jason Bourne shit here.
There, and the conspiracy theories were off the wall. And so I think to help the public, a spokesperson would help.
Very good point, Mike, because there has not been a press conference in regards to this case. And I think at some point the police department will have to do that.
Yeah.
So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to stay with this case.
Thank you, Bill. Send me a hat. Okay. Boston. Exactly right. The only way that I know that the bar guy has been ruled out is because the brother-in-law is saying it has nothing to do with the case. Just like we've heard another family member say that the phone call in April, which turned out to be a babysitter fighting with someone, she said her man. She didn't say her boyfriend. She didn't say her husband. She was crying. I'm not going to take anyone's word for something doesn't matter until we hear it doesn't matter. We've heard this shit in many, many other cases. That's the reason with Idaho 4. In Idaho 4, The minute the police said, this person's ruled out, this person's ruled out, this person's ruled out, this person's ruled out, never touched it again. But when I hear someone call 911 and then 911 calls back and they're like, I had a fight with my man. Okay, we see you're at this address. Are you going to be okay? Did it get physical? No. No, but a long pause. No. No break-in, nothing stolen, no forced entry, nothing on camera, as far as we know. Okay? As far as we know. But remember, we're waiting on the facts, the facty facts. All right. On Surviving the Survivor, great channel. Rob, who I'm friends with on Facebook, look at me fangirling myself, I'm tell you what, it really sucks being an investigative journalist like I am. He was on Surviving the Survivor because, he didn't take my invitation because he was making funeral plans on Tuesday, and I certainly can't fret him for that. But this is what he discussed with the host.
To be a private vigil in this neighborhood, in the Wineland Park neighborhood of Ohio. But first, let me bring in a very special guest here, Rob Misla. He is actually married to Spencer's sister, Maddie Tepe, now known as Maddie Misla. And Rob, obviously, we are very victim focused here at Surviving the Survivor. Our condolences go out to you and the entire family. I caught you doing some media with Ashley last night. I know, I'm sure you're still in shock, but how are you holding up? How is the family holding up?
Like you said, still a little bit in shock. Just trying to take it one day at a time. We're obviously prepping everything for.
JPL, Jay the Italian cookie, who I love. How did the police not hear the children or a dog when they went to check the first time? Exactly. Do we have another mute dog like we heard in Idaho 4, a dog that never barks? When we find out later the dog does bark. The math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. Fun to Ski said dentists can get their hands on some crazy rugs, but lately it's, okay. And they can. They can. Because tooth pain is a totally different pain. And that's the reason, I kind of think maybe somebody had been doctor shopping and might have been treated in a bad way when they were told, no, there's nothing wrong with your toofer. And we're just going to give you this 800 milligram ibuprofen. I'm telling you what, at this point, anything is possible.
Just trying to take it one day at a time. We're obviously prepping everything for the services and whatnot, staying busy, but still in a little bit of disbelief.
One of the more heartbreaking things that I read, and this was in People magazine, and it's also just got to be surreal to you to hear these big publications covering your very personal family story, but you were outspoken saying you still don't know how to tell the 1 and 4 year old. Obviously, they're extremely young. That's got to be gnawing at you. Have you had a little more time to think about that? Or are you going to kind of put that off for a little bit, considering their ages?
Yeah, I mean, and not just me. This is the entire extended family, both sides, because we've had them for a little bit. Other side of the family has had them. They've kind of been with a couple different ends of the family, and I think, like I said, taking it one day at a time. And we've talked to child psychologists on best practices and how we go about answering their questions, really, without just like outright saying it, because.
And that I could not imagine. How are you going to explain this to these babies? And I want to know, were they behind closed doors? We've had some cases before where a parent is found dead and there's a baby crawling around. There was one in St. Louis, in the blood. Do they keep the doors closed? What's going on? Because you have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old that were screaming. Okay. And these houses aren't exactly 2 acres apart. It looks professional to me. Or someone that just has had a lot of practice.
We've talked to child psychologists on, best practices and how we go about answering their questions really without just like outright saying it, because you can't really describe death to a 4-year-old, or just like how permanent it is. So just trying to answer their questions in the right way and understand how they're feeling throughout the process.
And can I ask you, are you watching them? Are you taking care of them? I know family is.
We had them with us for a little bit. The Tepe side of the family is in Cincinnati. The Monique side of the family is in Columbus. So they are not with us currently.
Well, please let the entire family know that we're thinking about them. And I know you want to talk specifically about this call, but first I've got to ask you, tell us a little bit. You're married, obviously, to Spencer's sister.
Okay, again, I posted the next show in here. Please be there, because I know you guys are going to figure out real quick in the next case what's going on.
About them. And I know you want to talk specifically about this call, but first I've got to ask you, tell us a little bit. You're married, obviously, to Spencer's sister, Maddie. She's got to be absolutely devastated. Tell us just a little bit about Spencer and Monique. People are finding out information about them through the media, and the media a lot of times, as a former broadcast journalist, we get it wrong. But tell us first about Spencer. Obviously a dentist, but the kind of person he was.
Just a top tier guy. Me as a brother-in-law trying to compare myself to him, it's not even close. He's brilliant. Graduated from dental school, is a great dentist. Honestly, so many people have reached out to me that saw him as a patient, and just had the nicest things to say. I saw a story actually earlier today about something that somebody had written saying, he gave my smile back. And then, he was involved in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, who he had a very huge, very large influence for his little brother, who is very successful at this moment. But he became family to them. Also, he's just he's athletic dude. He was always good at sports, and he was the life of the party. Really, he's always smiling and laughing, and just also very welcoming and open to meeting new people and getting people involved.
Yeah, I read that he's an avid golfer, but someone on the show mentioned that he wrestled at the Ohio State. I couldn't find that. Did he wrestle? He didn't wrestle. Okay.
No, he did not.
Yeah, and just tell us a little bit about Monique.
Monique, it was also just bright, huge smile all the time. She very intelligent, also just very mindful, and somebody that was really easy to talk to, especially with personal problems. She was very open. She was also she was an active person too, but just a great mother as well. Once she became a mother, her life really became about her kids, and it's just hard to picture. It's hard to see the kids without her,
And I understand she has a degree or focus on early childhood education. But the reason Rob reached out to Steve Cohen, and Steve's been in touch with him, there was a story out today by Fox News Digital. essentially talking about a call that happened back on April 15th, tax day, 2025, which is obviously a few months leading up to the murders. And it was
Baby Doll has a question. Does anyone know if Spencer was partner in the dental practice? It would make a difference to me if he was. Business partners have life insurance on each other just in case something happens. That is very, very true. My understanding is, okay, what I was told, and I can't verify it, is that he was on the cusp of becoming a partner. Now, remember, when you get into these dental depots, the person that owns it sometimes is not actually a dentist. They're what's just called, the owner. They don't work on anyone's teeth. They're just the front man for the money. I don't know about this situation. My girl said, does anybody know whose brother this guy is? He's no one's brother. He's Spencer's brother-in-law. He is married to Spencer's sister.
essentially talking about a call that happened back on April 15th, tax day, 2025, which is obviously a few months leading up to the murders. And it was described as a woman calling 911, crying, the dispatcher asking, hey, what's going on there? The caller saying, me and my man got into it. Are you in danger right now? The dispatcher asked, no, it's okay. I don't need anyone. And it goes on. But you were saying you wanted to set the record straight about this call. So what's happening with the call, Rob?
Yeah. So first off, if you listen to the voice, it's quite clearly not Monique. Everybody has seen the wedding video and has heard Monique talk, and it's obviously not Monique who's calling. Furthermore, I've been very outstated that, Spencer and Monique had people over a lot. They had, house parties, and they enjoyed kind of bringing people together. And, I think sometimes at these parties, people get a little too drunk. And that's, that happens. And from multiple people that I've talked to that were at this party have all stated, yes, we remember this happening. The woman had just a little bit of a freak out, for lack of a better term. Maybe.
Okay, let's talk about that. Even though some people say it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. They say it doesn't matter. Okay, so they host these parties. A-okay by me. Have all the company over you want. This is at like over 2:00 in the morning. Okay, people get too drunk. People remember what happened. Okay, I don't know where the kids were. I don't know where the babies were. I don't know what was going on. All right, these people get too drunk, and somebody had what's called a freak out. Okay, somebody had a freak out and called 911. Was something going on at the party that freaked this person out? Or did this person truly have an issue with her man? Okay. What freaked this person out?
A little too drunk. And that's, that happens. And from multiple people that I've talked to that were at this party have all stated, yes, we remember this happening. The woman had just a little bit of a freak out, for lack of a better term. Maybe, was having some mental health issues at the time. But she called the cops from her cell phone. I know it says it was from Spencer and Monique's house. Maybe it was close. But she was at this party, and she just had kind of a lapse psychologically, I think, at the time. And that's from multiple people have told me that. So
it was a party and it was someone other than Monique, obviously unrelated to Spencer and Monique. So I appreciate you sorting that out, and we're going to discuss that. Once I know you have to go in just a moment. I just want to ask you. I mean, as far as you know, between Spencer and Monique, were there any issues? Were there any problems that you knew of?
No. They loved each other so much. They were perfect for each other. And just, like, not even each other. Like, they had no problems with anybody that I've ever met. Like, I've never heard anybody say a bad word about either of the two. So, and I just want to say that, our family, as far as I know, was not contacted by Fox News before they posted this video. So, I think they kind of just jumped the gun to create, just sensationalize again, have something to say. But yeah, that's the story. And I have multiple people that are willing to go on record to say that as well. So,
well, we're going to take you at your word there. One other thing, and then I know I have to let you go. The police did put out, was actually during our show yesterday, put out video of this quote unquote, a person of interest who's walking down the alley. But I understand, if I heard this correctly, that the family also kind of wants to pump the brakes on that a little bit. Is that correct? And if so, how come?
Never pump the brakes until the police say pump the brakes. They haven't even had an official press conference. Okay? They haven't even had an official press conference. I'm telling you, they haven't. If it has nothing to do with the murders, then it has nothing to do with the murders. But as we know, watching trials together as friends, we know that things... Chrissy, are you doing laundry, Brooks? No. Why are you asking me that? Do I need to do laundry? What are you talking about? I put all my laundry up yesterday. Talking about my ceiling fan? Yeah, it's kind of noisy sometimes. Because someone says who is not in law enforcement, yeah, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. That does not mean it doesn't. We have watched many a trial where something that we thought was irrelevant comes up in the trial. And that's the truth. What I think is irrelevant might be part of the case file. What I think is super important, police might say, that we've ruled that out.
Who's walking down the alley. But I understand, if I heard this correctly, that the family also kind of wants to pump the brakes on that a little bit. Is that correct? And if so, how come?
I don't know about pump the brakes on it. I just, we all saw the video. Mm-hmm. It could have been anybody in America. The video is just really hard to tell what's going on. Could it have been the guy? Absolutely. Does he look sketchy as he's walking down that? Yeah. Does he look like he's hiding his face? Sure. But could it also have been, a drunk guy walking home? That too. So, I wouldn't say pump the brakes, but I just think we can all see what we're looking at. It's really hard to distinguish anything from this.
Again, there's questions, that our chat is very victim focused. Our community is a lot of victims within the community. But is there any kind of link or GoFundMe for the family right now?
Yes, there is a GoFundMe. I can send that to your producers.
Yeah, send that to Steve. Steve will get it to
okay.
And we'll put that in the comment section, everybody, for tonight's show. We'll put in the GoFundMe. And Rob, please reach out if we can help you in any way. We built a big platform here. And if there's anything we can do to get the word out or help you. And again, a lot of people say it, but I mean it. Please let the entire family know that our community of 185,000 strong is thinking of them and hoping that there's a resolution to this case really soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay. talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, when it comes to cases like this, I just say let the police do their work. All right, so he brought up the GoFundMe. We talked about it on Tuesday. It's right here. They have raised $184,000. I'll put it in here if anybody wants to donate. There you go. It's right there. Let's see. Supporting Spencer and Monique's children, which I'm all about. She says, I am Audrey Tepe Mackey, cousin to Spencer and Monique. Our family is devastated by the tragic and senseless loss of Spencer and Monique. They were extraordinary people whose lives were filled with love, joy, and deep connection to others. Their presence was as big as their hearts. Monique's charm and infectious smile lit up every room. She was warm with a strength that inspired everyone around her. Spencer was the soul of every gathering, grand in personality, yet calm, steady, and kind. Together, they were truly remarkable inside and out. They were a solid pair with a bright future. They were the proud parents of two beautiful children, and every day they showed up with unwavering love and devotion to their family. The abrupt loss of Spencer and Monique has changed daily life in ways that are still unfolding. This fund exists to help provide stability and care for their children and the immediate family members who are supporting them during this time. The outpouring of love has meant more than words can express. Thank you for helping support the children as the family together takes each day one step at a time. And that's a very nice thing to do. It will unfold. It will unfold. I don't believe for a minute, that anyone is telling the family, considering they haven't even had an official press conference. No offense to the family. No offense to the family. But I have a feeling they're not telling them every move they're making or what's important and not important. And hey, I'm not here to pick it apart. We're just here to discuss what's going on because this is a very gruesome and heinous act. And like I said, my uneducated eye seems that it's very personal. It seems vengeful. And it almost looks like it could be a pro hit. But that's just me. All right, again, I'm going to put this in here because we have another show coming up in about an hour and a half your time. About a boy missing in Oklahoma, out of Chickasha, Oklahoma, and I'm super, super pissed about it. It'll be a shorter live because there's not a lot of information. And I just want to tell you right now, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you for the open conversation, open discussion, and as we say, great talk and great friends. You guys are the absolute best. See you back here in an hour and a half.